Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. Capital One Arena in our nation's capital. Tonight, the Washington Wizards. The opening tip belongs to the Wizards as we get going in Washington. (4-3). That's the start they were looking for, just as the fans were getting seated.
And I love that aggression. Stylistically, you have to come out and dictate the tempo of the ball game. Don't ease your way into it. Keep your foot on the gas.
George up against Beal. Knocks it down from mid-range.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Beal, tough matchup against George. Montrezl Harrell pins it. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Clippers. Marcus Morris tips it.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
Count it.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
Beverly into the front court. Down 3. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number 1, create contact, and number 2, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Paul George at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. The free throw's good. It's a 3-point play, and we're even at 5. Beal against Paul George. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
George, his first effort off the mark. Takes it coast to coast, and the strong finish at the rim.
So you're just going to let him go coast to coast like that?
It's PG for 2. Off the mark.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning the ankle on that landing.
Beal. And the Clippers with the rebound. To Leonard. It's George for 2. Paul George. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Wizards have it. The crossover gets inside, and the slam dunk. What do you see in John Wall's game, Jay, that sets him apart?
That he could probably finish with his left hand better than he could finish with his right. I remember watching him in high school. He was jumping off his right foot and dunking the ball lefty as if it was that easy. He can do it with both hands, which makes him way more efficient around the rim.
Passed it off. Throws it down. Feed the big fella. Point to the passer.
So good when you get everybody involved, in particular your bigs. You get them going, they'll run the court faster, and guess what? They'll set harder screens because they're actually in the game.
Paul George fires deep 2 there. Won't go. Beal To Wall. Has a chance. There it is. John Wall. 2 for 3 now here in the first.
Look, as a player, this stuff happens all the time. No need to make this into something bigger than what it really is. Move on to the next play, get locked in.
George. Missed it. He always has the green light, but the defense was ready.
Woo, I like that intensity on that play. That's how you actually dig in the dirt and do your job on the defensive end.
Can't connect from inside. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Paul George, 4-2. Paul George. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Washington basketball. Wall. And they call it.
Just a tic-tac foul.
Wall cashes in. Someone has to get into a zip code.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Doesn't have the touch. No good. Wall with it up top. Up by 6. Short jumper won't go down. PG lets it fly. Paul George. He's at 50%. Solid.